This week at Interior, Secretary Bernhardt joined Vice President Mike Pence at the Flight 93 Memorial in Pennsylvania to mark the 18th anniversary of the September 11th terror attacks. Those attacks in New York City, at the Pentagon, and in a field outside Shanksville took nearly 3,000 American lives. The Secretary said the bravery of the passengers of Flight 93, who tried to retake the hijacked plane, marks an integral part of our American identity.
Among those brave heroes on Flight 93 was a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service employee, Richard Guadagno. Recovery efforts at the site were difficult and devastating. But a month after the crash, investigators found Richard's Fish and Wildlife Service badge, resting in a tree. For us at the Department of the Interior, that badge, which is on display at the Memorial's Visitor Center, serves as a moving reminder of all of our fallen colleagues who've gone beyond the call of duty to keep our fellow citizens, our communities, and our land safe.
You can read Secretary Bernhardt's letter to staff at DOI.gov. Interior this week braced for the effects of Hurricane Dorian. Last week, the Category 5 storm battered the Bahamas. It caused massive destruction, more than 50 deaths with thousands still missing, then headed toward the U.S. coast. Dorian made landfall on Cape Hatteras as a Category 1 storm, then moved off to the northeast. At the storm's heights, more than 200 Interior personnel were deployed for response and recovery, and several National Park Service and Fish and Wildlife properties were closed. Cape Hatteras saw the most damage of any Interior properties, but officials are still assessing the remaining coastal damage. The Secretary took part in this week's 2019 Honor Awards Convocation. The awards, first established in 1948, recognize Interior employees for their heroism, career accomplishments, or exceptional support of the department's mission. For a full list of this year's awardees, check out DOI.gov/recipients. BLM Deputy Director Perry Pendley was on Capitol Hill this week, testifying before the House Natural Resources Committee on the relocation of BLM employees to Colorado and other western states. Pendley said Interior will work hard to ensure employee job satisfaction, a lower cost of living, more purchasing power, and shorter commute times. You can find his full testimony at youtube.com/USInterior. BLM's Boise district this week is starting a prescribed burn near Juniper Mountain and Trout Springs. That burn will take place in a nearly 14,000-acre area, removing dense stands of encroaching trees, improving habitat, livestock foraging, and removing a potential source of fuel for wildfire. Check out BLM.gov. The Bureau of Ocean Energy Management is teaming up with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the U.S. Air Force to replenish portions of the shoreline in Brevard County, Florida. BOEM will use nearly 2 million cubic yards of sand from federal waters for 3 separate project segments. Get the full story at BOEM.gov. Assistant Secretary for Insular Areas Doug Domenech met with Palau President Tommy Rubengasau this week to present a $200,000 grant for the Our Oceans Conference that Palau is hosting in 2020. Domenech also provided approximately $9 million in infrastructure grants to improve the Kurorai Road and Angar Dock in Palau. Get details at DOI.gov/OIA. Interior this week renewed the extension of nearly 40 acres of public lands adjacent to the Pelican Island National Wildlife Refuge in Florida. Pelican Island was the first national wildlife refuge, originally set aside more than a century ago. The 40-year extension allows BLM to preserve natural land features around the refuge. See the full story at BLM.gov. And our social media picture of the week, this bison grabbing a drink at the National Bison Range in Montana. That range has played an important role in the successful recovery of these magnificent animals. Once 60 million strong, they'd gone nearly extinct by the late 1800s. Today, that number is back to 500,000. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That's This Week at Interior.